doing? Now, this isn't just a greeting like, hi, how you doing? I really want to know, how are you doing? Tell me in the comments below, right? Tell me what you're doing. Are you good? Are you okay? Are you feeling the stress, struggling with your emotions and with the finances maybe? Or have you decided that teacher is definitely not your calling? Are you claustrophobic being in the house? I know I am, but even if they lift the restrictions with this broken ankle, I'm not going anywhere. But my question to you is, how do we cope when everything is out of our control? How do we survive and even thrive when we really don't have control? I know that you know what I'm going to say. Yes, we pray. We all need God's help in this season. And the way we access God's help is through prayer. We can pray for ourselves, for our loved ones. We can pray for those who are afflicted with the virus, for God's healing. We can pray for those on the front line of battle, the doctors and nurses and police officers and firemen. We can pray for the scientists to come up with solutions that will really work, and for our government officials to use wisdom. I mean, there is a lot of things we can be praying about right now. But my question is, where are you praying? Because that's what I'd like to talk about today, the place. Now, those of you who know me know I love the mountains. I love the beauty, the serenity, the quietness. I love talking to God and listening and just curling up in His presence. There's other men of God who enjoyed the mountain. One in particular, Moses, he was on the mountain with God for 40 days. But did you realize that he wasn't alone? Joshua went up with him to the mountain. And in fact, when they went up, they sat just outside of where the glory cloud encompassed the mountain. For 6 days, they just sat there, wondering, waiting. When finally God spoke out of the glory cloud and invited Moses in. But Joshua had to stay. He had to stay right outside the glory of God, stay on that mountain for 34 days all by himself. You talk about being sheltered at home. He was all by himself outside of the presence of God. But you know what? I think something really did happen to him on that mountain. Because later when Moses was off the mountain, he created a tent of meeting. And when people needed to hear from God, he would go into that tent, and the pillar of cloud would come and cover the entrance where he would commune with God. It was such an awesome sight that people would worship God at the entrance of their own tent. All of them did, except for Joshua, because this time Joshua was invited inside. I'd like to read a verse found in Exodus 33:1. The Lord would speak to Moses face to face as one speaks to a friend. Then Moses would return to the camp, but his young aide, Joshua of Nun, did not leave the tent. Now, he refused to go. One translation said he always stayed in the tent. Joshua found a place where he could meet with God, and he was addicted to it. He wanted to stay in that place. Jesus also had places that he went to pray. In Luke 11:1, it says, now it came to pass as he was praying in a certain place, when he ceased, that one of his disciples came to him and said, Lord, teach us to pray, as John also taught his disciples. And then Luke 22:39 and 40, it says, coming out, he went to the mountain of Olives as he was accustomed when he came to the place. Now, scholars believe that while Jesus was in Jerusalem, that that garden tomb was where he always went to pray. That's how Judas knew where to find him, to betray him. But he had a place. So my question to you today is, do you have a particular place? I want to encourage you to have a place where you meet with God. You can call it your prayer closet, your prayer corner. You can call it the place. But I encourage you to have some place that you go just to meet with God. Now, I remember growing up, my mother used to pray on her knees beside her bed. A pastor that I admire greatly would sit in a rocking chair and pray. Susanna Wesley would throw her apron over her head just to find a secluded, sacred spot with God because she had so many kids. And it was a one-bedroom house. But she found that place to pray. Now for me, I have a couch with an end table. I put all my prayer stuff on it, and that's where I pray. In some seasons, I pray in this room, this front parlor that we're sitting in right now. But with my broken ankle, it's just easier to pray on the couch. But my point is, where are you praying? Where are you going to pray? Now, I pray all the time, like most of you, you know? We pray in bed, we pray when we drive, when we can't drive, when we cook, when we can't cook. I mean, we pray all the time. We just talk to God because He's our friend. But if you're like me, we get easily distracted or we fall asleep. So even though I have conversations with God throughout the day, when I want to get serious about my prayer time, I have a sacred place for me. And I call it a sacred place is because when you meet God repeatedly in a place, that place becomes sacred. It becomes a special place where God can meet you. And so where are you praying during this time of isolation and this time of sheltering at home? Where is your prayer closet? Where is the place that you meet with God and focus on God and God alone? Talk to Him and listen to Him and call out His name. Why don't you tell me in the comments below, where is your place? That place that you pray, because every single one of us needs to have that place that is reserved for God. Our family members will know, okay, that's where Mom or that's where Dad prays. When you walk by, you'll say, oh, that's my prayer place. I need to pray right now. I haven't prayed yet. It becomes special, but it's not just because it's routine. I'm telling you that God is waiting for you there. And in that sacred place that you've created with God, God does His best work in you and through you. Where's your place?